Welcome back to Tabletop 24. We're on the UKG show floor, and we're with Ian of Sinister Fish Games, and we're going to be running through a playthrough of Moon.
Okay.
Take it away.
Welcome to the Moon. This is the third game by Harkin, and it's going to feel really familiar if you've played any of the other games. There's a lot of the artwork that you'll see, so for example, it's got the food symbols that you'll see in villages, and it's played over the course of 3 eras. First era, we're going to be playing structures into our base that are the cheapest, easiest structures for you to build to try and generate a good engine to take yourself into the next era. There's going to be 4 different types of cards that you can play. You'll be playing them into your base. First type of cards that we have are our resource cards, which are lovely and blue and will stack very neatly onto your base, building a nice little tableau. And then as you progress further and get more and more resources onto your base, looks very neat and tidy on the table.
It does indeed.
Next up, we're going to have our yellow flag cards, which you can see, again, stacked very neatly into the base. And the yellow flag cards have some relevance because when we come to the scoring phase, at the end of each era, whoever has the most of whatever flags in their base will score the corresponding hearts according to After we've done the yellow cards, we also have some grey cards. The grey cards will either have an ongoing ability that you can track through the game, or later on in the game, in different eras, they'll have end of game bonuses. So this one here will grant you 10 hearts immediately at the end of the game. And the hearts are the victory points of the day. Everything you do will take you to hearts. There's loads of different ways that you can do that. There'll be cards in the deck that can generate hearts. There will be the scoring phase at the end of each era, and also the objectives up at the top. Our next cards, our final type, are pink cards. All the pink cards have an ability that you can trigger when you flip the card over. You can flip the card once per era, and it will stay flipped until the end of the era, when you can flip it over to use in the next. This particular one says that you can move all the rovers that you have in your settlement to the top of this card and place 1 heart on top of the card for each rover that you have. You can see each card will have a little description about what it does just at the top. We're going to go through the kind of things that you can do on your turn now. So you've got a turn reference card here. On your turn, there's one action that you must do, and the rest are all optional. The one that you must do is to play a card. And you can play a card in one of 2 ways. The first way to play a card is to build it. To build it into your settlement, you look at the top of each card and it will list the resources that you need in order to play it. So this one here, you require 1 water resource and 1 transportation flag. So say for example, this player over here had his water resource but didn't have that transportation flag in order to build it. This is where our Moon Rovers come into play. You can send Moon Rover on a little journey to another player's base, park it in a little parking space down at the bottom, and you can use that resource then, as if it was one of your own, to construct the structure into your base. The caveat with that is, when you send a rover away, it is no longer your property. It becomes the property of that base owner at the end of each era. They take that into their supply. So you'll find that there's always someone that has none and someone who has 6. So the other action you can do with a card is to assimilate it, which is our way of saying you discard it for any resources. So each card has a little trash can down at the bottom, and next to it, whatever resources that will generate if you were to discard it. That is another way that you can also generate more rovers, as they're also one of the assimilation rewards. And also there's the odd card as well that if you assimilate will grant you some hearts as well. So it's worth keeping an eye on that. The other optional actions for your turn include using an expedition card. Now this is a pick and pass game, so it's going to be very much like Sushi Go and 7 Wonders, and these will travel around in the hands with the table. So everyone will get a chance to use these abilities with us. We're going to use these abilities twice. For this one, you can gain an extra resource of your choice. For this one, if you send a rover to another base, you can score 1 heart. And for this final one, if you assimilate or discard a card on this turn, you get double the rewards that are on that card. I think, besides going through the objectives, Up here, our first objective that we're going to be aiming for will be to have 3 or more of one flag type in each base, to have 1 of each coloured structure in your base, and to have 2 identical blue structures, which are our resource generating structures. We're going to steal each of us 1 of these expedition cards, and then we're going to go through the first round with 6 cards each in our hands, and by the end of that first round you will have it. It is a very, very easy to pick up game.
Good.